Live via satellite, it's Rockline, the show where you interview the biggest stars in rock and roll. Rockline is brought to you by The Simpsons on Fox. Hi, I'm Bob Coburn, and tonight from Phoenix, Arizona, we welcome Metallica. To speak with Metallica, call the toll-free Rockline at 1-800-344-ROCK. That's 1-800-344-7625. One number toll-free from anywhere in the U.S. or Canada. And now let's welcome our guests. Metallica is ready to rock with the new album, Death Magnetic, and the impending world tour set to kick off in Phoenix, Arizona, and run to the beginning of February here in the United States. Rockline welcomes Lars. Ulrich. Good to see you again, man.
Good to see you, Bob.
How you been?
I've been great, man.
Yeah.
It's been 4.5 years since me and you sat in Phoenix together.
Unbelievable. In Phoenix 2 times in a row.
Here we are again.
Yeah. Kirk Hammett, welcome to Rockline again.
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Good to see you, too.
Yeah, likewise.
We were, Lars and I reminiscing last time we did this. We walked out, and there was an all-star baseball team standing out there. It was spring training.
Spring
spring
training 04. David Wells and all his cohorts.
Yeah, Brett Boone and Scott Spezio and on and on and on. Yeah, a friend of mine from the Angels called and said, can a couple of the guys come down? I said, sure, no problem. I look outside, there's like 12 guys standing out there. A little more than a couple. So rehearsal sounded great, and it was a rehearsal.
Yes,
I just watched you guys perform, and of course, Lars says, oh, here comes a man with a watch. Somebody call Rockline and tell him to wait a half hour. No can do. Thanks for showing up.
Listen, you want us live, we're live.
You are live.
Never
man.
screw you over, Bob. You know that.
Looks like the rock and roll machine is turned on and ready to go. You guys look road ready.
Well, thank you. It's we've been pretty much out there playing European festivals and doing the whole summer thing in Europe since May, and up through the release of Death Magnetic about 3-4 weeks ago. So we've been at home chilling for the last 3 weeks, and we were rehearsing all week last week at the Cow Palace in San Francisco, the famous old big cow barn there, and we had a little show for a few friends and about 1,000 radio contest winners and so on Friday, and now we're here in Phoenix. First shows tomorrow, and we are oiled up and flexing and ready to go.
Yeah, what I heard sounded good out there, and Kirk, a lot of the new songs from Death Magnetic are absolutely intense, and they look intense to play live too, are they?
They are intense, man. Absolutely. I mean, compared to some of the stuff we've done in the past, I mean, arrangement-wise, they're just like everywhere, and for a guitar player, a lot of the parts are so extremely fast that I find my picking arm cramping up a little bit, but that'll go away as soon as the tour kind of starts going, and I start getting used to it a little bit more.
The songs from the new album are long, intense, really good songs. How many new ones do you plan on playing?
As many as possible. I think at a minimum like 3 or 4.
Yeah, we've actually got 8 of them more or less down, ready to go, rehearsed. As you know, we've been for the last about pretty much since we started in Phoenix, actually in 04, we've been changing the set list every night, which is really liberating, and it's a lot of fun. And so we've got 8 of the new ones rehearsed, and we'll probably sprinkle between 3 and 5 in every night, but we're going to rotate them and try and get to different ones on a nightly basis, so it's not just the same stuff over and over.
That'll make it fun for you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that'll make it really cool. To me, Death Magnetic has the spirit of some of the earlier material. Was that intentional, or is just that what came out, Kirk?
It was definitely intentional, and it's what came out. It's with that intention, that's what came out. It was something that Rick Rubin kind of suggested to us. Kind of like looking to the past to see what we could. How it could develop, some of the stuff we're doing in the present, and how we can look to the past to kind of like inspire and influence what we're doing in the present, and that's what we did. I mean, it started off as a kind of an experiment. That's how Rick Rubin prefaced it. But it was definitely an experiment that worked, and it had great results, and so we just went with it, and it was actually was a very inspiring sort of experience overall, and we're all just kind of blown away, I think, by that whole approach, because it wasn't really something that any of us were talking about, before Rick came in and kind of he gave us his famous pep talk.
Boy, he's been working with everybody. Dixie Chicks, Neil Diamond, Linkin Park, you guys. I mean, he's all over the place.
I think it's his goal to produce everyone.
Before it's all said and done.
And he's pretty close.
Yeah, he's almost done. He's almost done.
And checking off the list band by band, man.
Hey, listen, when you're the man, I mean, he's the great thing about Rick is that he doesn't bring the same thing to everybody. He gets the best out of what each band is capable of, and so he really takes your dynamic, your chemistry, your thing, and maximizes it. And it's just so. I'd heard a lot of stories about what he was like to work with all these other bands, and when we sat down to work with him, it was nothing like any story I'd heard, because he was just totally like Metallica dialed. You know what I mean? So it really worked out well for us.
Let's listen to some of the new music now, and then your calls are coming up. 1-800-344-ROCK. This is The Day That Never Comes. Metallica on Rockline. Never Comes from Death Magnetic, Metallica. We're joined by Kirk, Lars, and your calls coming next at 1-800-344-ROCK. It is Rockline to our first time out, the end of the line.
Rockline.
It is Rockline. Welcome back. I'm Bob Coburn with Lars Ulrich, Kirk Hammett, and now your calls at 1-800-344-ROCK. Line's been jammed up for quite some time, but Russell got through in Austin, Texas. Russell, kick it off. You get to start.
Hey, thanks, Bob. Hey, Kirk, Lars, hope y'all are doing all right.
All right, man.
I was at the Cow Palace rehearsal out in San Francisco. You guys sounded absolutely great.
Appreciate that.
And my question is, the Day That Never Comes, the lyrics behind that song, they read a little bit differently in the booklet as opposed to the video that was made for it. And I was wondering what the difference in meaning is exactly, or what the meaning behind the song is.
Have you guys even noticed that?
Yeah, I mean, the idea was, you know, the lyrics in the song are quite tight. It's set inside maybe like a house, inside a relationship, inside a pretty small, confined situation. We wanted to take the video as far in the opposite direction in that and get it out of kind of a confined space and get it out into the wide open. The director, the Danish film director, Thomas Vinterberg, really wanted to take the video is far away from what he perceived the lyrics and the song to be about. So it sort of got out into the wide open and out into the desert and set up against a situation that we all can relate to about soldiers and potentially, you know, maybe set up against a war in the Middle East or whatever it is. So it's something that we can all relate to on a worldwide basis. And the video, as you've probably seen, is really about fear and about redemption and about forgiveness and all that type of stuff, which are some of the same threads that run through the lyrics in the song, but just said more against a father-son relationship.
Good call. Thanks for kicking it off there, Russell. The band is in concert. The show being done live on the 20th of October is in concert in Glendale, Arizona, tomorrow, the 21st, followed by Albuquerque on the 23rd, Kansas City, the 25th of October, Des Moines, Iowa, the 26th, and into November, Portland, Oregon. We'll take a call from Phoenix, where we are tonight, and talk to Brad. Hey, Brad.
Hey, Lars. Hey, Kirk. How are you doing?
All right.
Hey, man.
Hey, I went to both tour rehearsals at the Cow Palace and tonight in Phoenix.
Wow. And you're already on a landline somewhere?
You must be calling from like
He's calling from the dressing room next door.
Yeah.
or the payphone out front.
Yeah. Question is there going to be more stuff that's going to be coming down from the ceiling? That was the one. And also, will there also be more pyro being used during the show?
We're still working all that stuff out, and what you saw during the two rehearsals is just, you know, our preliminary plans for what we're going to be doing live.
The first show's not till tomorrow. Come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't pull out all the gags that we're meaning to pull out during the regular shows, and so
we have the giant lemons coming in tomorrow.
Yeah, the giant lemon and the big phallus that's going to pop out of the stage, and don't worry, the chickens will be there too.
Brad, how are you seeing all these shows, man? How are you getting around?
By flying, and then I'm driving on the East Coast, and when the tour comes to January to the East Coast.
So let me ask you a question,
Man.
Brett, then. So how did it sound? We all right? Can we kick it off tomorrow safely?
From both shows, I'm hoping so.
Say yes. You're not supposed to think about it.
Hell yeah.
Come on.
Are they road ready, Brad?
I'm sorry?
Are they road ready?
Road ready? I believe they are.
All right, there we go. That's what we're looking
You're
for.
scaring me, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
Had me worried too, man.
There was dead air there for half a second.
Yeah, well, we don't like that in radio. Yeah, you know, watching you guys in the rehearsal tonight, James is still very understandably very leery of the pyro.
Oh,
you
absolutely.
know, I mean, he really wants to know where everything is and when it's going. You know,
He's had a lot of experience with pyro, as you well know,
Yeah.
and you know, it's really, really important because we just don't want another one of those incidents happening again. And I got to tell you, those flames are really, really hot.
oh, I can feel it 50 feet away.
That's
You know,
unbelievable.
Singeing my hair. Yeah,
But also
absolutely.
to maybe just get quickly back to, I think, the deeper context of his question. You know what happens when you start a tour, no matter how much you rehearse, until you get out there and get 5 or 10 shows under your belt, you have like no idea what you're doing. You can sit there and rehearse to 16,000 empty seats for weeks at a time. But I'd say like a week, and that's not saying anything bad about our friends in Phoenix and Kansas City that you were talking about. We're going to hang out with this week, but it takes usually a good week to just get it all dialed. Now, what these guys are going to see this first week, they're going to see the really raw kind of making it up as we go along kind of thing, which I think that's
cool too.
Super cool also. But it just, no matter how much you rehearse, it always takes a week or two to get it completely dialed. Everybody can relate to that.
And you got to get out there and do it live, where you can't stop and call a timeout.
That's the only platform, and that's the only platform that you can use.
Let's do another song. More calls coming up. It's My Apocalypse, Metallica on Rockline.
steering wheel. What makes me know what time to cross over or to repeat until I feel. Through the skin and the bones they all rattle. Future and past they disagree. Flesh falls away, the bones they all shatter. I start to see the end in me. See the end in me. Claustrophobic, climb out of this skin. Hot explosive, wait to pull that pin. Violate, annihilate, all wounds into my eyes. Obliterate, exterminate, and not and self-denying. Fear thy name as hell awakens. Destiny inhale the fire. But we cross that line into the grips, total eclipse. Suffer unto my apocalypse. Tyrants awaken my apocalypse. Demon awaken my apocalypse. Heaven awaken my apocalypse. Suffer forever my apocalypse.
There you go from the new album Death Magnetic, My Apocalypse. It's Metallica. We're back with Lars and Kirk and your calls in just a moment on Rockline. Rockline is brought to you by Fox. Sunday, November 2nd, settle in front of the TV with a pile of Halloween candy and enjoy all-new Simpsons Treehouse of Horror. It's their annual October special for Halloween. The Simpsons at 8, 7 Central, Fox Sunday. Back in just a moment after a little suicide and redemption.
Rockline.
Welcome back to Rockline. Ain't My Bitch. That song got
All
me here.
right.
Driving from L.A.
Yeah. Got you here a little faster.
Yeah, it sure did. Yeah. You know, those triple digits come up real quick when there's a song like that on.
No place to do that like on the way to Phoenix,
Oh,
right?
man. It has some wide open territory here and there. RocklineRadio.com. You can see who's coming up on the show. We have great guests around the corner for you, as always. And we stream our shows for 2 weeks after the fact at RocklineRadio.com. We have a contest. You can win a trip to Los Angeles for Sarah Connor, the Terminator, for one of the Fox TV shows, and all kinds of goodies there, so be sure to check it out. Time for the Encore questions, brought to you by Radio Shack. It's Aaron Lewis of Stained.
This is Aaron from Stained. What's up, guys? I don't think I've seen you since the Metallica Icons thing, where we got lucky enough to play a quarter of one of your songs, because that's all MTV would let us play. But I've been listening to you guys since before I even had pubic hair, and I was curious as to what the secret has been for the longevity. You know, you guys are still here, still important to the music scene, you know, still kicking ass and taking names. And what's the secret?
Yeah.
Prolific pubic hair.
Secret. Well, appreciate that, man. I think a couple things. Number one, we're fortunate enough to be four guys that there are no real casualties in this band. Nobody goes missing for a week at a time. Nobody wakes up in gutters, you know, that type of thing. So we've always prioritized Metallica. Listen, we've had our fun over the last 25 years, but we've always prioritized Metallica to the point of it being, you know, always being responsible enough to show up, do the gigs, and do what we need to do to never let the team down, right? I think we've always prioritized Metallica. None of us have done, you know, solo records or any of that type of stuff. It's always been prioritizing Metallica, and I think that's probably one of the main main reasons? I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, well, no, it's I totally agree. It's like 100% dedication to the band,
cause, yeah.
and to the band cause and to the band vision, and just really being on our feet and trying to make the best possible music we possibly can, whether we're playing live or in the studio or whatever. I mean, it's having a real professional attitude and really just like having the focus and the drive and the determination. And I think everyone in this band has a lot of drive and determination.
And also not being too sucked into the whole fame thing and celebrity. I mean, listen, we've all flirted with that, but, listen, over the course of 27 years, I mean, you go through these ups and downs, but we've always been able to, whenever, if there was one guy who was just losing it a little bit or whatever, the rest of the team would put him in place, So I look at Metallica as always being like a team effort, a collective, a gang. And I think that's probably what's kept us here.
Stained is 13 years now.
Yeah,
13
Stain's
years
awesome,
together for
man.
them.
Yeah,
Same guys, yeah. The great thing about you guys, though, is not only being able to stay together, but the relevance of the music. You guys have been relevant since day one, since coming out of the gate,
Thank you.
Man.
That's nice to hear. It's something we don't take for granted, certainly as you get older. And so it's nice to, as I like to hear myself say, to keep one foot in relevance.
It's a good place to be grounded.
Right.
Yeah. Let's head back to the phones here from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Joe, you're on Rockline with Kirk and Lars from Metallica.
Hey.
Hey, man.
Hey.
I was just wondering, do you learn every note in your leads, or do you listen, play them as you go?
That would be for Kirk.
A lot of the times I'm aware of the fact that people want me to play the guitar solos just as they are on record, and I come from a generation of musicianship where the attitude was never to play the song the same twice, or never to play any improvised solo section the same twice, and I still kind of hold on to that ideal today. So what I usually do is when it comes time for us to rehearse and get songs together for a tour, I'll play maybe upwards to about 90% of a guitar solo, but I always leave a little bit to change or improvise or whatever, because I just it's just not in me to play the same guitar solo every single night, every time we go on tour. A lot of times I just can't remember what I played, and I'll just wing it, But yeah, I mean, to answer your question, I try not to follow it too much, because it's, I just don't want to repeat myself, and I want to keep it, a little bit different and exciting, and I think it's good for people who see us in concert to play something that isn't just on the album. It's a little bit more to offer.
I just got a note. Joe's 14. That bodes well for your band. It does.
Oh,
when you got the teenage fans coming up,
it's
just
amazing.
Makes you a multi-generational band, guys.
Oh, it's amazing. You used to have this saying in Metallica about, these are a bunch of guys that weren't born when Kill 'Em All came out. Now we hear ourselves say, these are a bunch of guys that weren't born when the Black Album came out. It's unbelievable. Right. It's unbelievable. I have a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old at school, and I go in now, and a bunch of the kids in middle school, like 7th graders, 8th graders, I mean, they're like, dude, it's the dude from Metallica. I mean, it's just, you can feel there's a whole new generation of youngsters that are getting ready. It's what we call the rite of passage. It's you're 12, 13 years old. It's time for your first Metallica fix.
Yeah. Well, just even here tonight at the rehearsal, I saw quite a few younger kids around 10 to 14.
Cool.
A bunch.
Super cool.
And I just have a feeling that once we get out on tour, we're going to see a lot more, because for some reason our demographic is just getting younger and younger. And I have a theory, and that theory is Guitar Hero.
Yeah, you may be onto something there, Kirk.
Yeah, it's Guitar Hero is just exposing us to a whole new generation, a younger generation of people, and they're getting turned on to Metallica and liking it through Guitar Hero. And the logical next step is to go see go see their band live.
Yeah, I was sitting next to 3 really young guys watching the performance, and they were rocking out. They were cool until they started kicking the seats, and then I got them left. There's a line there somewhere.
On their way to Juvie tonight.
Meet some new friends.
That's raw. Yeah.
Let's rock indeed. That was Just My Life, Metallica on Rockline.
I stitch them up, see not my fall from grace.
Was Just Your Life. It's Metallica from the Death Magnetic CD. We have Lars Ulrich and Kirk Hammett taking your calls at 1-800-344-ROCK in BC. Bob Coburn. This is Billy in Boston. Hi, Billy.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, man.
Hi.
Hey, I got two questions, but I wanted to ask one, but then can I ask the other?
Go ahead, man.
All right.
Stage
What
is
was the
yours.
reason for naming your CD Death Magnetic?
Well, James went away and wrote all the lyrics more or less by himself, and when he came back with all the lyrics, I sat down and looked at him, and it was like, wow, there's a common thread running through all these songs, which was death and sort of redemption and forgiveness and just stuff about all those kind of lighthearted topics. So we sat down and tried to come up with a couple of titles that maybe in some way, without it turning into a concept record or anything like that, kind of unified the themes of the lyrics. And Death Magnetic was a lyric in the song My Apocalypse, which is on the album. And Kirk pulled that out of a hat one day and said, what about Death Magnetic? We all sat and looked at each other for a couple hours, and then we started smiling, and there it went.
A couple hours?
Oh, yeah. It took a couple hours, trust me.
Yeah, I mean, we literally sat around a table and we're throwing titles back and forth, and it was pretty hilarious. But then when Death Magnetic came out, there was a certain silence, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
What's your other question, bro?
Better not be. Can you get me tickets for the Boston
Okay,
show?
let's see, yeah.
What else you got,
It's not.
Billy?
Can you get me tickets for the World Series? Is it?
Oh, not for
Sorry.
Boston. Oh, ouch. Go
Just
ahead, Billy.
kidding. Come
My
on.
next question is, are you guys going to go like the other groups are doing with Guitar Hero?
Yeah, Death Magnetic came out on the day it was released. 4 weeks ago, it came out on Guitar Hero the same day, and I don't know how to say this any other way than the following. If I was in Las Vegas and I was a betting man, I would put some money on the possibility of a Metallica Guitar Hero game surfacing at some point in the very near future. There you go.
Really?
Hey, I thought we weren't supposed to talk about that.
I'm not talking
Talk about
it.
what, huh?
He's not talking about anything. He
Okay.
asked me.
That will
So
hit
there's
Doing my job.
There's a Rockline exclusive.
Yes, sir. That'll hit the net like wildfire, I guarantee you.
That's all good. Keep
it'll
them
be all
guessing.
over before the show concludes.
But you know
tonight.
what? Guitar Hero is super, super cool. We're all. I have a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old. We're big fans in my household, so it's all good. Nothing but love for Guitar Hero.
All right, let's move on. We're in Phoenix tonight. Rhonda's in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. Welcome to Rockline, Rhonda.
Hi, it's actually Rhoda.
Oh, okay.
Hi,
Sorry
Kirk
about
and
that.
Lars.
Hi, how you doing, Rhoda?
Good, how are you? Hey,
All right.
I have a question for you regarding the new album. What was your favorite song that you recorded, and did you find one that you recorded that was most difficult?
Well, to answer the first part of your question, I love the Judas Kiss. It just it turned out a lot better than any of my expectations. And when we were getting that song together, I thought, wow, I don't know about this song, but as the months passed and it went through various stages, and once we recorded it, to me, it's one of the many diamonds on that album. As far as recording is concerned, Lars?
Stuff that was difficult. The song that ended up being called Broken, Beaten, Scarred was originally entitled Black Squirrel. That was the working title. And that we have these silly working titles, trust me, Bob. Yeah. And Rick Rubin, when we were recording Black Squirrel, basically like little children, he chastised us and sent us home to do our homework. We were recording it, and he kept saying that we're not playing to each other, we're not playing with each other, we're not listening to each other, we're not interacting. And basically, we were sent out of the studio. And we're
tail between legs and so
yeah. Do 20 push-ups and go home and come back tomorrow. And then, of course, we came back the next day and played the song exactly like we did the night before. And he goes, "You guys are on fire." But that one was difficult to nail. I've never been sent home from the studio before, but that one was difficult to get the right groove and for all of us to kind of lock in the pocket together.
There you go. There's always one. Rhoda, thanks for being on tonight. Scott's in Austin, Texas. Hey, Scott.
It's an honor to talk to you guys. I had a question regarding the Unforgiven III. You guys decided to use a piano on a song that you've never done before. I just wanted to know whose idea it was behind it to put that on there to open the song.
That's the brilliant mind of one James Allen Hetfield. I would say the intro piece to the Unforgiven 3 is probably the only thing that anybody walked into the studio with on these Death Magnetic sessions as a piece. James showed up one day and said, I have this intro for the song that we were working on at that particular time, what ended up being the Unforgiven 3. And it was dialed. And all we had to do was ask Rick to find an arranger and a couple guys to play it on strings and so on.
Classical musicians,
that was basically all James's.
Did you envision a trilogy when you did the first one?
No, absolutely not.
No, this wasn't planned.
No, not at all. No, it was the reason it was called the working title. Like I just told you about Black Squirrel, it was the music sort of reminded us of the first two. So the working title of the song was just Un-3 because we couldn't come up with something else. And then when James came back with the lyrics were literally more lyrics about redemption and forgiveness. And I was like, well, why don't we just keep the Unforgiven 3 and make it part of whatever that is? And then it was like a decision that took like 12 seconds to make. And people sit there, so you've been thinking about this for 15 years and the trilogy. And, people think we're getting all Genesis and Marillion-like on it. I mean, it's so not like that. It literally took like 5 seconds. So let's just leave calling it the Unforgiven 3, So there you go, done.
So. I just got the new Marillion album that's due in the spring. It's like 2.5 hours long.
That's just the first song?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Rockline is brought to you by Fox. Sunday, November 2nd. Settle in front of the TV with a pile of Halloween candy and enjoy an all-new Simpsons Treehouse of Horror special. It's The Simpsons at 8/7 Central Fox Sunday. A little taste of the Unforgiven 3, and then we're back.
How can I be lost if I've got nowhere to go? Search for seas of gold. How come it's got so cold? How can I be lost in remembrance I relive? And how can I blame you when it's me I can't forgive?
Rockline. Going back to Ride the Lightning there. It's Metallica night on Rockline with Lars, Ulrich, Kirk, Hammett, and your calls at 1-800-344-ROCK. Bob Coburn, we're located in the Phoenix area, so is TJ in Scottsdale. Welcome to Rockline, TJ.
Hey, guys, what's up?
All right, man, how you do?
I'm doing great. Okay, my first question, I got two. First question is, Kirk, what is your oldest guitar, and have you kept the very first guitar you bought?
I wish I had the very first guitar I bought. It was I actually got it. I traded it for $10 and a Kiss album to a friend of mine, and actually, my old guitar tech, John Marshall, has the very first guitar I bought, but he cut it in half and glued it to another guitar to try to make a double neck guitar.
Oh, you're kidding!
Yeah. Hey, I was 15 years old. He was 15 years old. It was a wacky idea, and it's actually still in his closet, but just half of it. And the oldest guitar I have is probably an old Telecaster from like 1952 or 1953. Though I do have like an old acoustic guitar from the 20s, but it doesn't sound very good.
Yeah, do you like to collect, or do you just kind of stick to what you need?
I am a big guitar collector. Every time I buy a guitar, I say it's going to be the last one I buy. But of course, next week I find myself buying something on eBay, and I just love guitars. I love playing guitars. I love looking at them, listening to them. I am just like. So
do you sleep with them?
I used to. Well, no, not really sleep with them, but pass out with them. But yeah, James and I, it's funny because James and I were talking the other day, and we realized that I was bidding against him on a guitar on eBay.
Who won? I want to know who won.
Well, it's like I was talking to him. I said, "Hey, bro, I'm bidding on this PC Rich, and I got outbid." And then all of a sudden, he flipped open his iPhone. And he said, "Was it that one?" And I said, "Yeah, it was." He goes, "Yep, that's because I won it." And I was like,
"Oh man,
bro, maybe we should sit down and talk before we bid on guitars. If there's any sort of idea that you might be bidding on something, or I might be bidding on something that you want.
Bidding it up against each other. That's never a good thing.
Healthy for the market, but not good for either of us.
TJ, thanks for joining us tonight. We're going to talk to Charles now in Ledyard, Connecticut. Welcome to Rockline, Charles. You're on with Metallica.
Hi guys, how are you guys doing today?
We're doing great, man. How you doing?
Good, man.
I'm doing great. This is just a complete honor for me. So I'm really excited. My question is, if what was the process for making the new album? Who came up with the riffs, the lyrics, and all that stuff? Who came up?
Time do you have?
Song by song.
I'll give you the quick rundown. We took most of 05 off, and the Rolling Stones played in San Francisco and asked us if we would play with them. So we hooked up opening for them, and that was great. And then the week after, literally, we started just coming into the studio at HQ in our backyard there, and writing. Nobody brought in anything. It was all just jams that we came up with in the studio and stuff that we had worked on in the what we call the tune-up room on the St. Anger tour, which is this room that we have backstage. So before we get up on stage, we play 10, 15, 20 minutes, and we kind of get warmed up and get the adrenaline going. And we would always have a tape recorder in there, tracking all that stuff, Pro Tools, obviously. And so a lot of the ideas were from that tune-up room, and the rest of the ideas just came up in the studio as we were working along on this stuff. James pretty much went away and did all the lyrics by himself, which was the first. He sort of just took all that on. Usually we sat on St. Anger. We pretty much wrote all of them together. And in the past before that, we would always sit around and talk about the ideas together. But this time James went into the James Hetfield woods or wherever he goes, and came up with the lyrics and all by himself. That was sort of how the whole thing came together.
I saw that James issued an apology for taking so long on albums. What did you guys think of that?
Hey, it's in between the 2-year tours that never end, the day off that never comes, and all the rest of it. It's not quite like in the '70s when Ted Nugent put out a record every 35 minutes.
That's true. Yeah.
When bands would take 6 months to put out an album, that was considered long.
Yeah, people were doing 2-3 a year for a while there and recording them in 3 days, Concert-wise, I think we left off in Portland, Oregon on the 1st of November, Salt Lake City on the 3rd, Denver, Colorado on the 4th, Omaha on the 6th of November, followed by Moline, that's Quad Cities, on the 8th, and all the dates are at Metallica.com. Let's play another song right now. This is Cyanide on Rockline. go, Cyanide. It is Metallica. We're back with the guys in just a moment. I'm Bob Coburn. Rockline is brought to you by Fox. Sunday, November 2nd, settle in front of the TV with a pile of Halloween candy. Enjoy an all-new Simpsons Treehouse of Horror special, an annual event for The Simpsons. Always good. Simpsons at 8, 7 Central, coming your way Fox Sunday. We're back in just a moment to the timeout. Broken, beat, and scarred.
Rockline.
And welcome back to Rockline and Bob Coburn with Kirk Hammett, Lars Ulrich, and your calls at 1-800-344-ROCK, Metallica.com. You can pick up all the concert dates there. The new album is out, Death Magnetic. Pick up a copy if you haven't already. And we're back to the phones, this time to Stewart's Draft, Virginia, to talk to Blake. Hi, Blake.
Hey, what's up?
All right, man. How you doing?
Metal Legends. All right. My question is, what was the mindset for this album, and how is it set different from the rest of the albums?
Is there a particular mindset that you had for the album?
You know what? We started a couple 2 years ago just trying to come up with the best songs that we could and trying to put the best riffs together and make the most cohesive Metallica music. When Rick Rubin came into the picture, as we kind of went about the dance with him, he started slowly kind of breaking us down in the area that we had spent 15, 18 years kind of shying away from, which was the whole kind of going back and being re-inspired or being inspired by the records we did in the 80s. There was a real taboo for us. You know, we were, I think, looking back on it now, afraid that if we went back and started doing stuff that was, you know, like those records, that in some way we would either belittle them or cheapen them by doing second-rate copies of them. And Rick convinced us, this was in 2006, Rick convinced us that it was okay for us to take a look in the rearview mirror. It was the same time that Master Puppets had the 20th anniversary, and we were doing a bunch of dates all over Europe that summer where we actually played all the Master Puppets in its entirety in concert. So we had to go back and relearn Master Puppets. And so we got to know Master Puppets again really well, and so the mindset kind of slowly, after doing the dance with Rick and then doing the Master Puppets dance, became to how do we go back and feel that we're okay being inspired by some of the records we made in the 80s without in any way cheapening them, but also without copying them, and how do we bring that into the 2008, 2010, you know, bringing it into the next, century type of thing. So that was kind of the mindset once, Rick kind of got his 2 cents in there.
And the other part of the question was differences. Would you say, after listening to that, more similarities maybe?
I think
the
main thing that Rick wanted to try and accomplish was he felt that there had never been a Metallica record that captured the live energy and the live, what happens when Metallica plays live in front of an audience. He felt that most of our records, without being disrespectful to the guys who produced them, that most of our records just didn't capture that live, in-your-face, spunky, nutty thing that happens when we play live. So he was really the guardian of making us play live in the studio, making us play to each other like we talked about before, and trying to really capture a real human energy on the record to try and really get that kind of across.
Well, I tell you, my first listen through, at the end, I just kind of threw back on the couch and went, damn, I'm exhausted.
Just try and play it for 70 minutes.
I can't imagine, you guys. Blake, thanks for joining us tonight. Let's head to Norman, Oklahoma, outside Oklahoma City. Talk to Jay. Welcome to Rockline, Jay.
Hey, guys. I'm looking forward to your show in Tulsa.
All right. Thanks, man.
Yeah, my question is, when you guys did Ozfest this year, what was that experience like for you, and what was going through your head? Because it was the first time you'd played with Ozzy since the 80s, if I'm correct. Thanks.
Well, it was definitely cool to be invited to be a part of Ozfest. I mean, Ozfest is become like the big heavy metal convention.
Yeah, it's true.
It's become the meeting place for the heavy metal community. And I was surprised when we showed up there that there was just all these other guys from all these other bands just hanging out. I mean, they weren't even playing or anything. They're just hanging out and being a part of the whole event. And to be be a part of that and actually be playing that day was pretty cool and a pretty special thing for us. And the Aussie camp were really psyched about having us. And because we were just so into it, we thought we'd do something special, and that's when we started thinking about debuting other material from Death Magnetic, and we actually ended up playing Cyanide that night as well as The Day That Never Comes, and it was a pretty cool thing, and it was pretty different, because when we were touring with Ozzy back in 1986, we were opening for him, but as you probably know, when we played Ozfest, Ozzy went on before us, and that was quite an experience in itself. I felt that we had come full circle in that regards.
Yeah, it's kind of a stamp of validation, isn't it?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Normally, we'd play a song here. There's so many people want to talk to you.
Let's talk to our friends out there. Come on.
All right, we'll do some more calls then.
Enough of that damn distorted music. Let's take some calls.
Don't open the mix box, the Pandora's box. Outside Chicago is Gurney, Illinois, and that's where Teresa is. Hi, Teresa.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Bonsoir.
Looking forward to seeing you guys in January. I don't think I can wait.
Back at you.
All right, my question is for Lars. Does your thought process differ when you're creating the set list for the U.S. versus other countries?
Great question. Yeah. A couple things I try to do is I'll always look at the set list from the last time we were in that particular town. And will always look at what we've been playing, say, like that week. So I try to make a different set list based on, last night's show and the show on Tuesday and the show on Sunday. And also, what you said you were in Illinois?
Yeah, that's in Chicago.
Yeah, so Chicago. So when we come and play in Chicago in January, I'll look at the set list for the last couple times we were in Chicago and make sure I put some different songs in there. Nowadays, we've got the livemetallica.com where you can go up and get the shows, basically download the shows, within a couple hours after we get off stage. So now you're not just playing to 20,000 people in Chicago, you're playing to a worldwide audience. So I try to make a different set list every night. Since we started that in 2004, right here in Phoenix, we haven't played the same set twice, which I'm very proud of.
Really? That's remarkable.
So it works on a lot of fronts. It also keeps us on our toes and makes it fun for us to do different stuff every night. And I think there's always a good 500 to maybe 1,000 fans that follow us everywhere we go, so they get a different experience. But like I said, I try to do, just different to what we've done the last couple days, and I also make sure and make it radically different than when we were in your town last. And also on the nights where we do doubles, like I think we're doing 2 nights in Chicago. Sometimes I'll put in up to 8 or 10 different songs the second night. So it's always, we just try to do it as differently as possible so everyone walks away with a smile on their face.
I think we've spoken to a couple of people that follow you around all over the place.
I know, yeah. That guy that was at the rehearsals in San Francisco.
Both of them, yeah.
Oh, in fact, he's standing outside right now.
That's right. Let's talk to Fernando. He is in the Southern California desert in India. Welcome to Rockline, Fernando.
Hey, guys. How you been? This is a real big honor for me to talk to you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So my question is, are you guys planning on staying with this classic sound, like the old school Metallica, for the rest of the lifetime? Do you have any? And my other question is, do you have any songs left over from this album, that you might take out in the near future?
Well, we do have a lot. I wouldn't say a lot, but we do have a few songs that are just sitting around in the vaults that didn't make it on this album. The only problem is we've probably taken parts from those songs and put them onto songs that did make it on the album. So I mean, if those songs are going to see the light of day, they definitely need to be rewritten.
As far as your other question, you know what? guess what? 27 years into this, we still don't have much of a master plan. We kind of like to make this up as we go along. So it, we put a record out, every 9 years or something? So
17. You have had a couple of years where they were back to back.
So, you know what? I mean, at the rate we're going right now, it'll be a while. So that's the beauty. I mean, the great thing about being in a band like Metallica, the thing I cherish the most is the freedom that comes in the wake of being somewhat successful and having one foot in relevance, as we say, is that the freedom. You can do what you want, when you want, how you want, and it's something that we don't take for granted, but it's really what we cherish. So it's been so much fun the last couple of years to work with what you were calling the classic sound, and I really appreciate that. It feels real good right now, and it would surprise me if we stray too far from that when we get back to it in a couple years. But the great thing about being in Metallica is if we want to make a Polish polka record, then we'll go down that path and try and make sure it's the best it can be.
A heavy Polish polka record.
Really heavy Polish record. Yeah, I think for a lot of us in the States, we're glad to see this extended U.S. tour. You guys spend a lot of time in Europe.
Yeah.
It's
the first indoor tour in America since 2004. And so we're doing about 35 dates between now and February. It's great to be back in America. Like Kirk was talking about before, playing Ozfest in Dallas a couple of months ago was awesome. And now we're doing all indoors. It feels great.
It was fun to watch the rehearsal tonight. And, of course, you guys are working on, blocking who goes where and this and that so you don't get burned and everything, Just minor detail stuff, But when you guys got rolling and did songs all the way through, it was jaw-dropping. And a lot of what I heard was the new album. And it just sounded really excellent, you guys.
Those new songs are really, really great to play live. I mean, I feel that they really translate well when we play them on stage, for sure.
We'll be back in just a moment. We're not quite done yet, so come back with us.
More calls.
Lars Ulrich and Kirk Hammett from Metallica taking your calls, and we'll be back on the other side on Rockline.
Rockline.
Matters, kind of a reminder of the breadth of the band. You guys cover a lot of ground in your music. I want to thank everybody for listening tonight and for calling. Thanks to our affiliate stations. Also to a couple of people that I want to give a shout out to, and that is Kyle Olson, Neil Rosenbaum, and Doug Cannon at the jobbing.com arena for hosting us tonight. Thanks for the great job, Neil. Really appreciate it. Warren Christensen, everybody at Q Prime, Mike Rittberg, Heather Luke, everyone at Warner Brothers Records, and to you guys for taking the time to stop by and talk to your fans tonight on Rockline.
Yeah, right on.
Bob, Phoenix, 4 years from now.
I know. we got this thing going, every 4 years. It's presidential years, too, isn't it? Holy smokes, man. Let's do spring training again next time, though. That was a blast.
All the bass players down here. That's great. Thanks for having us, man.
Hey,
thank you.
You're always welcome. Good luck out on the road, and thanks for the great album,
you guys.
Thank
you, man.
Thanks,
appreciate it, Bob.
All right, we're out of time. That's it. I'm BC, and I'll be seeing you.
All right.
Rockline has been brought to you by The Simpsons on Fox. Rockline is produced by Greg Jernigan and mixed by Jimmy Rash. Thanks to Chris Martin and David Brown for their invaluable contributions, and to Jamie Sutton and Valley Sound Studios, the home of Rockline. I'm Bob Coburn, and I'll be seeing you.